o'clock, and we have full quorum. Ms. Denham, did you want to read your part before we do the roll call? Hey, Leah, are you still on here? Oh, she's
Let me see here real quick, see if I can figure out what's going on.
Here I see there. Okay. This meeting is being held pursuant to various executive orders issued by the governor of the state of Tennessee, which allow for meetings to be held by electronic means. This recording will be posted online tomorrow. Last week, the full agenda was posted online. Additionally, citizens were asked to submit comments to any item on the agenda by email, and those comments, of which there were 2, have been sent out to the members of this committee. And we'll now proceed with the meeting pursuant to these electronic rules.
all right. We're opening up the meeting at 6 o'clock, April 13th. Real quick, we'll do a roll call with everybody, and I'll have to unmute you. I'm here, Chris Taylor, and then the next one, Jerry Foster. Let's make sure Jerry's unmuted. Sorry, Jerry. Now you are. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm here, Chris.
Okay, thank you. And then the next one would be Ms. DeWitt.
I'm present.
All right. And then Mr. Gamenden.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Mr. Good.
Here.
Mr. Nipper.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
All right. And Leslie.
I am present. Thank you.
All right, good. We've got quorum. Mr. Gamenden, would you be so kind as to lead us in a prayer?
Sure. Be glad to. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for its many blessings. Thank you, dear God, your Son Jesus. In him we have all hope. Thank you, dear God, for county and for this country. We pray, dear Lord, for your protection and your help. We pray, dear Lord, for your help in everything that we do. Pray, Lord, for your help in this meeting, that we make decisions that fits the most people possible in this county. We'll be mindful to ever forgive you the praise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Amen.
All right. Real quick, just like we always do for the budget meetings, obviously, if we have something we need to discuss, we'll just kind of speak up a little bit and work through it. Anything that passes with the unanimous vote is considered to bypass the 2 readings rule, and because of the unanimous vote, and we'll go straight to the agenda for the commission this month, unless we say otherwise. I can't think of anything else right offhand, so we'll start with entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. And if you would, just say who it is that says it.
So moved, Paul Gooden.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second, Jerry Foster.
Thank you, sir. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously. Obviously, we won't have recognition of the public because we had the 2 emails. Hopefully, everybody had a chance to read those. And now on to approval of the minutes. Entertain a motion for the minutes from March 9th.
So move, Foster.
Thank you, Jerry.
Second, Paul Gooden.
Thank you, sir. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, who was that opposed it? Oh, is that just a late aye for okay? We'll try it one more time. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. There we go. All right, report of the Budget Committee Chairman. I won't torture you too bad. I think we all saw what's going on around the country, and Metro just did their State of Metro last week, and Mayor Cooper made some poignant remarks. He said that now would be a good time to have a rainy day fund, and they don't. Now would be a good time to have cash on hand, and they don't. And in fact, they're at the point now where we're receiving notices about them not hopefully doing layoffs, but they're not doing hiring. They have a hiring freeze and everything else right now, and it's pretty bad there. I'm very proud to say that the commission has supported the way we've done the budget the past 5 years. And because of that, and Mr. Long and his finance group's expertise and just the conservative approach we have great reserves, and we are in a recession. And if we have to, we have enough reserves in our general fund to withstand 2 years of a recession before we have to make any kind of impact to services or anything else. We have reserves in our debt capacity and capital so that we don't have any problem with any of our bonds anytime now or next year within. And obviously, if it goes into longer than a 2-year recession, we have to address it before then. The county is in great financial stability right now. We're not going to have to raise taxes like Metro is. We're not going to have to raise taxes like possibly Wilson County is or any of the other surrounding counties that are struggling, because we've made hard decisions and good, smart decisions over the past 5 years, and we're in great shape right now. We're more than ready to weather this next 2 years without a problem at all. We are going to ask all of our department heads and elected officials to put forth a zero budget this year. Their budget's going to be the exact same as it was last year. If they have open positions, we're going to tell them they still can hire if they need to. We're just going to ask that they don't do any promotions. They don't move any intertransfer funds without kind of running it by finance first to make sure we don't have salary changes. And the most important part is we're not going to have any kind of a negative impact on our services or what we provide the county and its citizens. We're going to be able to stay at 100% as we are right now and continue to hire. And I'm hoping that regrettably, one of the bad things of this climate is the unemployment, but we may be able to get some really good people for our open positions. With that being said, there's one thing I do want to bring up real quick, and this will be for a vote. As you're aware, Ken and Chief Miller, Ken White and Chief Miller, will salary, and there's some other people over there that are salary with EMS. They've been working extraordinary hours since March 2nd when the tornado struck. It's coming up on 2 months. It will be since they extended the stay-at-home order. Both of them and other people have been working continuously 7 days a week, 15, 16-hour days a lot of times, and they're not receiving any compensation. Obviously, we know that that was part of it when they were hired, when they signed on, but FEMA acknowledges that salaried individuals can be worked way more than what would be expected, and allows for us to submit overtime for those types of positions. So I'm just going to ask that we make a motion that we allow to pay the salaried portions of the salaried people in EMS and OEM per FEMA guidelines to make up for the 90-hour weeks that they're putting in right now, and probably more than that, and that they still haven't been off yet since then. And obviously this would be reimbursable by FEMA up to 75%, and then there's additional reimbursement that can come from the state. So honestly, it's almost zero money the county's going to have to spend for this, but it's a way to compensate these individuals for the sacrifice they put their families through. So, thank you, Paul.
Second, Foster.
Thank you. So, Paul, any discussion?
Chris, can I ask the question again?
Yes, sir.
This is for EMS and EMA. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Do
sir.
we have an up to amount, Chris?
Yes, sir. Let's do an up to. Thank you. Let's do up to 100,000, and then if something changes beyond that, we'll obviously come back to the committee. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Chris,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is Leah. You need to do a roll call vote.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I say aye. Mr. Foster,
Aye.
Ms. DeWitt,
Aye.
Mr. Gemenden,
Aye.
Mr. Good,
Aye.
Mr. Nipper,
Aye.
Ms. Shell.
Aye.
All right, no opposing, so this would bypass the 2 readings and will go into effect and go to the full commission this month. Thank y'all. And like I said, we're going to send the information about the zero budget out to the rest of the department heads and everyone else, but I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm very, very glad for the hard work we've done for the past 5 years and the fact that we have a really smart finance group and a really smart commission, and we're in a great shape right now and will be for the next 2 years when other places won't be. And that is the end of my report. I will move on to the county mayor.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing that I have on the agenda tonight is a request from our hospitality businesses for deferral of payments for the hotel motel occupancy tax, and they're asking for property tax. I think they're in a really bad situation. They got hit pretty hard. I don't know what we're going to get out of them as far as revenues. A lot of these hotels, especially the new ones, they're pretty leveraged, and I don't know how the commission feels about it. I know we'll get our money eventually, but right now, they're having very much of a problem. I will tell you that some of these businesses have worked with us because we, out of necessity, because our first responders, many of them across the county and in cities, have been exposed to this virus. And they have worked with us to allow us to rent rooms at a discounted rate to make sure that we quarantine these folks so they don't infect other first responders, which would eventually shut our whole system down. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. This has been a request by several of these folks across the county. These are extraordinary times. I would not typically bring this to you, but I wanted to bring it to you for your consideration.
Yes, sir. Ms. Denham?
Well, as much as I'd like to be able to say that this is a good idea, I mean, I understand the problems across the board. It's not legal. First of all, hotel motel tax is like sales tax, and it has to be turned in within the statutory time. Property taxes have to be collected, and there is nothing in the state law that would authorize us to allow for such. I have been through all the executive orders thinking maybe something would be placed in one of those that would authorize such a thing, but I've not found anything. So at this point, I don't believe this is something that we could offer.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll move on to the finance director, Mr. Long.
Just a second, Mr. Taylor, I've had a request for somebody to get into the meeting.
Okay.
Does anybody know Ms. Kruger's other email address? Non-county one.
Mm-mm.
See if I can find it.
Well, we have it down.
One.
Her other email address or her county email address?
I sent it to our county. I'm not sure. I'll send it to both of them. I'm getting ready to send it to our county one again.
You ready, David?
I found it. Thank you. Go back up to the agenda. Can everybody see the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The only two things I have on the agenda tonight, the first is the statement for cash flows for the highway department. You can see we monitor it closely. They're about $33,000 better than we expected at the time. This does need to be sent on to the county commission per the request of the state. And then the other one is just the financial statement memo informing the commissioner or anybody else, commissioner interested that the financial statements for March will be on the website as of this coming Monday. All I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And the item A to the commission.
All right. All business is just for docketing. And I did tell Commissioner Taylor I would mention we'll announce the committee for the subcommittee for the utilities and water lines in the other parts of the county. That'll come up at the full commission meeting in case we have anybody else that decides to volunteer before we get to that Monday. New business, education, entertain a motion.
Hello.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Deanne.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. A1 passes. A2 is just for information only. We go on to B, Sheriff's Office. Again, this is things that regrettably jails are expensive. We don't have any way around it. Entertain a motion for Leah. I think I can group A, B, and C and D, or A, B, and C, can't I?
Let me unmute myself here. Yes, you can group everything except the capital project one together.
Okay. We will entertain a motion for approval of B1A through D.
Second.
All right.
Austin.
Did you get them, Jessica? I'm sorry. We all just repeat who made the motion in the second on that one.
Foster seconded, but I didn't really hear a motion, so Either way,
I'll make the motion. That'll make it easy. I'll do it, Jerry. Thanks. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Consider it passes unanimously without a second reading. Now B1E is $97,375 from capital projects local fund balance for jail lighting.
So moved, Paul Good.
Thank you, Paul. A second.
Bailey?
All right. Second by Mr. Commendon. Any discussion?
Could you just elaborate on the need for this one?
I'm sorry.
Could you elaborate on the need with the
This is,
lighting?
this is.
Mr. Chairman, if you need to, I can explain that. These
Okay.
lights, the current lights, the inmates are kicking out and making weapons with them. These new lights they're going to put up, because the inmates have destroyed most of the old lighting, are hardened. They can't kick them out. They can't destroy them and make shafts and other weapons to hurt each other with. So that's why we're having to go with this, and we don't have much of a choice.
Thank you, sir.
And if this is Leah, if I could add, and it's been partially started already because we've had to replace things through the years. So this is just finishing up this work.
All right, fantastic. Is any more discussion? All right, I make the motion. Is there a second?
second.
Thank you, Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously. All right, the second one under new business is B2, and that's $11,479.32 from the general fund, unassigned balance for COVID expenses. And this has been face shields, gowns, thermometers, outdoor lighting, sanitizing bottles, and 2 conference phone stations. And I'm going to group that with number B, which is up to $60,000 from the general fund balance for the part-time personnel they've had to hire to help assist with the COVID operations in the command center. I make the motion.
Chris, I'll
Yes,
make
sir.
a motion for, since 3 is involved,
Okay, do separate.
motion,
Thank you.
B and 3.
Okay. We'll just do it for A first then. I make the motion. I think Jerry had a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Huh?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, sounds good. Now on to number B, make the motion for up to $60,000. This is for the 2 part-time personnel they've had to hire in.
So moved.
Thank you. sir.
Second. Foster.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. All right, passes unanimously. The next one is the deployment reimbursements from FEMA, and what they're wanting to do is getting some of that money and use it towards the COVID-19 pandemic equipment.
Hey, Chris, I think those have to be roll call, please.
We can do that? Okay, thanks, David.
Yeah, I think they all have to be roll call. I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute it.
So we can do 3, 4, and 5 all together?
What else?
He's saying we need to revote on B, 1, and 2.
Oh,
Right, you got to do a roll call on all.
on B1 and 2 for the sheriff's department ones?
If
Let me-
we have it roll called, needs to be roll called.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Since you're asking if anybody has an objection, David, do you think we need a roll call?
No, I think that was one we were discussing earlier, that the electronic meetings required a roll call. If you think it meets the letter, then I'm fine.
I think when he says everybody for it and everybody is answering yes and there's no objection, I think we're okay. And if y'all would, we're making this up as we go, guys. So if y'all would feel better having a roll call vote, we can. If somebody feels not being able to express their opinion.
Can we just do it going forward just to be on
Okay.
the side?
That's fine. We'll start it with B3 EMS, and that's the $8,500 that's going to be deployed to be reused for COVID pandemics. And I'll start with myself. That's an aye. Mr. Foster,
Aye.
Ms. DeWitt,
Aye.
Mr. Gemendon,
Aye.
Mr. Good,
Aye.
Mr. Nipper,
Aye.
and Michelle.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously, and we'll
Hey,
now
Chris,
go.
I have
Yes,
a quick question if I can. On those 3 items, 2AB and item 3, do we have any opportunity to get any reimbursement from, FEMA, HHS, any of those national grant funds that are available?
The way
Yes, they're 80,
Forever.
75% reimbursable from the feds, all of those three items that you voted for.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure.
No, you can apply for you can apply for lost income if having to shut things down. There's all kinds of things you apply for. Now, whether we get it or not is a different matter. But
Right.
there's a million different things that we can apply for. And I'm pretty confident we will.
Mr. Chairman, if I may expand on that, we've got to meet a 600 and something thousand, just say $630,000 threshold. That is countywide, including municipalities. We have already met that.
Mhm.
So those federal funds are guaranteed at 75%. Now, it'll take a while to get them. And we're hoping that the state will pick up some more of that match. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right. For Westmoreland Library, for internet services, and for the county mayor and finance, 110,000. I'll just explain it real quick. That is being used. We're spent 52,000 in the month of March and 52,000 we're expecting in the month of April. And what that is we've had to quarantine employees from EMS, from the sheriff's department, from other branches that came in contact with COVID patients. And so the most practical way was to put them in hotel rooms so that way they didn't infect other people. And then once they've been getting cleared, we've been able to release them back to work and back home. But in the interim, that's where it's why it's costing 110,000. That's again directly related to the COVID costs, and we'll be hoping with seeking reimbursement for that. But I would like to make a motion that we approve 4 and 5 together. If I can get a second.
Second.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Good. All right, I vote aye. Mr. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Witt,
Aye.
Mr. Gamenden,
Aye.
Mr. Good,
Aye.
Mr. Nipper,
Aye.
and Ms. Shell.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously with the so moves on. And then
Hey,
transfers.
Chris,
Yes, ma'am.
who voted for let's see, EMS, the $8,000? All I heard was a roll call. I didn't hear who first and
Oh.
seconded that.
I made the motion and Mr. Foster seconded me.
Hey, thank you.
Sorry about that, Jessica. All right. For C, David, can we get away with grouping and improving in 1 and 2, or A and B?
Yes, nothing unusual. Just a lot of expense related to COVID-19.
Any discussion from anyone?
Motion group and approve A and B.
Thank you, Mr. Good.
Second to it.
Thank you. I'll say aye. Mr. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Witt,
Aye.
Mr. Gamenden,
Aye.
Mr. Good, Mr. Nipper,
Aye.
and Michelle.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Passes unanimously. And then for the tax refunds, Miss Dillon, is there anything weird about it?
No, these are all fine.
Okay. Make the motion, we group and approve D 1 through 4.
Second.
Second by Mr. Good. I say aye. Mr. Foster,
Aye.
Mr. Witt,
Aye.
Mr. Gamenden,
Aye.
Mr. Good,
Aye.
Mr. Nipper,
Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Passed unanimously. I don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything before we adjourn?
Hey, Chris, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Just to be clear, I understood something on the front end. So we're obviously not going to be able to have those budget meetings the way we had planned. So at this point right now, we're just going to ask each department to submit last year's budget to get us through.
Yes, sir, but they all do still have a statutory right that if they want to, they can present it to us. So we're going to set up a meeting at some point in the future for anybody that chooses to present something different. So that way they have the time.
Okay, I thought that's what you said. Thank you.
Yeah, but we are asking them all to go with a zero budget. So it's just the same number as last year. We're not asking them to make any cuts though. And when it comes to cash, the last, when David and I talked, we're good for at least 6 months out if we didn't collect another penny from anybody. So to make payroll. So we're in a really, really good shape.
Awesome.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Shelfer.
Just a quick question. As far as budget hearings go, what are we thinking? Have we thought about that just to kind of think through that?
We've talked about, and David's trying to construct models that will have projected numbers on it. And what he said, and everybody else is in agreement of, is we're not really going to be able to have good numbers for at least another month or so to project even how we finish up this fiscal year, much less can project next year's. So initially they were for May. As it gets closer, we'll cancel those and then just kind of see where we're at as a county. If we can meet in person, that's great, and we'll figure out some new dates. And if we can't, then we'll figure it out through a different online source. But tentatively, we're going to be canceling those meetings. We just haven't sent it yet because we know, again, we won't be able to have good models yet to base everything on.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else?
Hey,
Mr.
Chris.
Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Committee. And then Mr. Holt, I'll get you next. Sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Holt. Yours is
No,
important.
you go ahead, Billy.
Well, I just wanted to say, my great uncle, probably in the 1940s, he was a magistrate, held court in his front yard, which is next door to me, out under the trees. And that's what this kind of makes me feel like. Anyway,
Is that good or bad, Mr. Committee?
hey, it's good. It's just a comment.
Mr. Holt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to comment. That's pretty good, Billy. Even though we have a shade tree budget committee, I can tell you this, I am extremely proud of all of you, those who had the foresight to do the right thing during the good times, to make sure that we got our projects done. We supported all the areas of county services that we needed to, and made sure that you passed enough revenue to get us in the position you are. We're the envy of counties in Middle Tennessee. We've got a great reserve fund, and David may want to echo this, but it's because of the hard work of commissioners like our budget committee now that has put us in this position. And the naysayers, unfortunately or fortunately, have been proved wrong again, because the times when we had to take the tough votes and do the things we needed to move this county forward and build up our reserve fund, we had a vast majority of commissioners that wanted to do that and knew and had the foresight and knew how important that was to keep us in a good position. So I want to thank all of you for what you do. And I want to thank all of you for supporting our first responders during this time, which are working really, really hard to try to respond and keep us safe. So thank you all again.
Well said, ditto.
Thank y'all. If we don't have anything else, entertain a motion for adjournment.
Adjournment.
Move to adjourn, Billy.
There we go. Thanks, everybody.
See you.
Bye.
Hey, guys. Meeting.